And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Super Bowl week.
What week?
Oh, wait, hold on. I want to pass on that because I wanted to explain what we're doing before we get started. So, yes, we are playing a drinking game, and
we could say welcome though. Welcome everybody. I'm Ken.
I'm Brian. Hello.
okay. So why don't you go ahead and all right. We are going to play a drinking game. What's up? What a busy
a championship week drinking game.
Yes, I'm going to say it.
One time.
We are not allowed to say Super Bowl, and we have to drink if we say Super Bowl. So there we go. Yeah. That's it.
It is now on. Ding
it's
ding.
Now it on.
Where's the sound
This could
effect?
really go poorly.
Huh?
Where's the sound effect? Where's the ding ding sound effect?
We could all have our own, right? Because we would have to call each other on it. So we give the Super Basin.
We're going to, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So boy. and as we were just discussing, before we turned the cameras on, eventually I think the trophy name is going to be changed. It happens, and I think they probably won't do it while he's still alive.
Has it happened in other sports?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is it like in hockey or something?
Go ahead, sorry.
Was it hockey or something? What other sports has that happened?
I want to say, well, you know what? Actually, don't. I on the spot, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how often it changes, but I know that it's not one of those things. It's just like forever. It doesn't have to be that way forever. It's a conversation that's been brought up before, whether it should be. And it's like the trophy should probably just be named after the person who most resembles the idea of winning the championship, right? And so I think there's an argument to be had that Bill Belichick deserves to be the name of the trophy.
Okay, now that I would agree with.
They should call it the Brady.
There is an argument, but I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I think he's got to do more.
I don't think he has to do more other than just like stop coaching.
Because the bar gets raised. You can't. Like you said, five Super Bowls.
It was five.
So
first of all, first
this
of all,
is gonna go poorly for me. I swear.
First of all, when Lombardi was winning them, it wasn't called the Lombardi Trophy.
What was it called?
I'd have to look that up. I'm not entirely sure.
What game was it called?
Huh? It was just called the. Oh yeah. Well, the first 3 championships that he won weren't called anything. They were just called the NFL Championship Game.
Right.
And then the last 2 were SB 1 and 2.
You've been practicing.
Yes, he has.
I've been practicing so hard. He's been practicing so hard.
Good at these games.
Let me get 2 beers. You can fit 2 beers in this thing.
So anyway, Lombardi won 5, and he did it in the 60s. And there were just a lot less challenges that he had to face. He didn't have to give up coaches year after year after year because other teams were poaching them, trying to build their own championship organizations. He didn't have to give up any of his players. There are probably 10 plus players that played on every one of those championship teams, which is ridiculous because it spanned 8 years or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. If you're saying that, who's more deserving? Okay, I mean, that's a whole different argument. But is it going to happen? No.
I don't think it's going to happen right away. I said this also. I don't think it'll happen while he's alive.
But I think he has to raise the bar. I like more has to be to replace that.
I think this is just
that legend like he has to do so much that they have no choice but to call it that. You know what I mean?
Didn't Michael Jordan just get his name on an NBA trophy recently? And I know Bill Russell did. I have
no idea.
There's the MVPs for the conference finals in each. It's a trophy that's been given out, for decades, and they recently named. I know the Eastern Conference one is the Bill Russell Trophy.
Okay.
So
and what was it before?
I'm not sure if it had a name before.
Okay, well that makes more sense. But I'm saying you're replacing a legendary name on that trophy that it's been called that forever. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like Belichick has to go above and beyond, and
I feel like he has done that.
If he gets there, 2 more times with another quarterback.
I feel like Bill Belichick's iconic defensive, like his team's iconic defensive performances in championship games, whether it be the AFC championship game or the title game itself, have, because you can think of a handful of them. Like, to me, that what is it you think of when you think of Lombardi? Like the sweep, the Packers sweep that people don't even use anymore.
Yeah, no, I just think, I mean, honestly, that's so far before my time that's just, the old Green Bay Packers. I don't have a lot of nostalgia for that far back.
That was their team though. Their team was Paul Hornung and Jim Taylor, and it was the sweep. And Bart Starr was that era's version of Tom Brady, where he just he knew exactly what to do all the time, and you could just count on him not to mess up all the time. But in the modern era, I think there's so many challenges that Bill Belichick didn't even have to win that many titles in order to be considered at least in the same caliber as Lombardi. And to me, him and Brady both put together 2 Hall of Fame careers. There's the 2000 to 2009 era, and then there's the 2010 to 2018 era. And pick one. Start one and end at one of those points, 2000, 2009, and don't use any other data for Belichick and for Brady. And they're going to the Hall of Fame. Whether you cut out half of their careers, that's insane.
Yes, that is absolutely insane. And like I say, if we're just talking deserving, I think you're right. It should be, but it's just not how tradition works, and he's got to blow Lombardi away.
And also, I think he actually technically has 11 championships, something like that. Other teams that he was on before he was the head coach of the Patriots.
I'm not a fan personally, but I know the guy's good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be if I were you either.
Yeah, exactly.
He's murdered your team.
I know. Thank you. Thank you.
What a busy that the MVP should be named Brady.
It's like how the Packers can't beat the 49ers in important spots. Like the Steelers have just been completely inept against the Patriots in important spots over the last 15 years.
Against Brady. So I'm sorry. What did Wadabizi say? And welcome, Wadabizi.
He said the MVP.
Welcome
should be
to championship week here.
Yeah.
He said that MVP should be named after Brady.
Yeah, and it doesn't have a name yet. So, how many times has Brady won? But
the MVP, interestingly, I think Aaron Rodgers has more MVPs.
I was just going to say, I think so too. I think you're right.
I think Peyton Manning won it more times.
Yeah,
I think Tom Brady only has 3.
So, how big a fan are you guys of Peyton Manning? Like, how do you think if Peyton Manning had the situation?
I think if Tom Brady had retired 5 years ago, 2 Super Bowls ago, you'd have a conversation as to whether or not he'd be considered the greatest quarterback of all time. I really felt that way. I
did too.
I was a Manning over Brady guy. Like, Manning is the better quarterback. Throughout the entirety of their careers, all the way until Manning fell off, and he's obviously done.
And that's when he
won
again.
He retired. and then Brady's just like, later, old dude. I'm gonna have another MVP career after you retire. His main competition for who the best quarterback is retired. Then, you could say, okay, so Peyton Manning retires in 2015. Look at Tom Brady's career from 2016 to 2022 and tell me that's not a Hall of Fame career.
No, it is.
That's nuts.
It really is
nuts. He has so many records. It's unbelievable.
All right, so why are we talking about Patriots, man?
We're talking about Tom Brady because he just retired again.
All right.
And Does he stay in retirement?
And he filed his paperwork.
He did?
Yeah, he filed his paperwork today. So it's official.
See you later, dude.
Oh, and he has some massive deal with Fox.
You got something in your...
Oh, yeah, lemon. 300 or 265 million or something silly.
I heard 3. I heard 300 something. I heard it was really 10 years and 300 million.
He just made up all that money he lost in crypto.
and his divorce. I saw the funniest thing I saw.
That would explain why he wants to take a year off. Let the divorce stuff like
Tom
kinda
Brady's
like-
the GOAT because he fake retired last year or to get divorced so that he could actually retire this year and go golfing every day. He pulled the fake retirement move so his wife would finally just be, he'd get the clean break.
I think there is some truth to that.
I don't think so.
I think they're necessarily the golf thing, but who goes back for 1 year knowing their marriage is on the line and then just is like, yeah, okay, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, you think you would put like 2 or 3 more years out of like, man, I got to make this worth it. I just lost my marriage over this.
I expected him to play 1 more year.
I did.
I thought he would come back for
one more.
Yeah.
So
Get a Super Bowl God dang it. I hate this game. With 3 teams.
you're not supposed to call yourself out on it.
Yeah.
I
might have missed
went-
it.
I missed it too.
I might have missed it. I don't know. Nah, I wouldn't have missed it.
I missed it.
That's funny.
I've already been caught twice,
He's,
and we're like 10 minutes in.
Yeah, he's not on a championship.
Yeah, I'm going to have a max on this because I got to get home.
Nobody said it had to be shots.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought that was the
I said
agreement,
shots.
All right.
You notice I don't even have a shot glass in front of me because I'm not worried about this.
Yeah, your game.
Yeah, dude, I sat in front of the mirror and practiced. I've had all these conversations already. I already know exactly what you guys are going to say.
Yeah. I should know better than
The super
play your
basin.
bets.
The super basin. The super B.
So the other stuff that's been going on, I guess, is there's been a lot of coaching changes. To me, it was a little slow this offseason. Normally, there's like rapid fire coaches being fired, coaches, interviewing and teams hiring new coaches and stuff like that. But not everybody's even done yet, right?
Arizona's the last.
Arizona still has, and right now, like they're, just atomic. Nobody wants to touch them. Is what it seems like. Nobody wants to go there. I don't know what the deal is, but it kind of reminds me of like the Clippers. If you don't follow basketball, this might be hard to remember, but the Clippers had that thing with their ownership where it came out he was a blatant racist, and he had said a bunch of things about his girlfriend, like dating Magic Johnson, stuff like that. Okay. And around that time, like the Clippers, they had a bunch of talented players. They were, they had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. They're calling them Lob City, and it just didn't click. It didn't work out for some reason, And ever since they cleaned up, they've had just there's been a better vibe around that team. They've had some injuries, but they're looking pretty good this year. The Clippers have a much better chance at winning than the Lakers do. But that was a sidetrack. That's just what the Cardinals remind me of right now. Is a mess of an organization, and there seems to be something going on like that's poisoned like the well.
Well, and they just gave Kingsbury and their GM.
They're gone. They're both gone now.
Are they? Okay,
They're both gone.
That's right.
Kingsbury, you can't even get a hold of him. He's in like.
That's right.
He's over. Yeah, he declined to be interviewed this offseason. He's I don't even know where he is. I forget.
He's out on the Caribbean or something. Isn't
No,
he?
he's. I want to say he is like in one of those earthbound Middle Eastern countries. When I say that, like he's far away from the ocean. So I forget exactly where he went. Like I can Google that real quick.
Now I'm just curious. Like, wait, what? I'm going off to the middle of nowhere with all the money they have to pay me.
He's in Thailand.
You can live like a king over there.
So Thailand is closer to the water. So that's not that. I was thinking he was up in like in the mountains.
Right.
But yeah, he's over there in Thailand. He doesn't want to be bothered. Their general manager took a leave of absence. He decided to step away from the team and resigned for health concerns, I guess. And that's always bullshit.
Right.
So, and when you say health concerns, what that does do is it will make people at least apprehensive about approaching you in a way that might stress you out. you know. So you've got him pulling the "I'm sick" card, you know, leave me alone
Right.
so I can heal, and you've got Kingsbury over in Thailand where he doesn't want people talking to him, and it's like they don't want people asking them questions about why this, why that, what happened. And that makes it even more interesting to me.
Yeah,
And
that's true. I didn't know all that.
And so, and meanwhile, you've got and they haven't hired anybody. There were all these coaching candidates, and they've got a supposedly a stud quarterback, a wide receiver who might be at the edge of his prime, but he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then and a good wide receiving core. They've got a pretty good roster. Like they need some pieces on defense.
Yeah, they need pieces,
but they've got a good roster seemingly. So you'd think they'd be an attractive place to go, and they're the last place to be filling their head coaching position. And I don't know.
And they were saying something like in the last 30 years, like all coaching positions by this date have been filled, except for like with one crazy exception, and it's still not filled. Yeah, I mean, maybe they're just being really picky about who they hire, but
I mean,
I'm thinking there's a problem.
So what?
there.
They're waiting for like John Gannon for from the Eagles after they lose this weekend
Right.
in LVI. Is this SBLVII? I was listening to Around the NFL podcast from like last week, and they were talking about the Roman numerals. They'd all given themselves like a little homework to talk about on the podcast, and it was like the thing that they liked the least about the Super Bowl, the thing that they think should be changed about the Super Bowl. And the host guy, his thing was the Roman numerals. We got to do away with the Roman numerals.
I can see that.
I was like, I just kind of like they're like, I don't even notice them anymore.
right.
It's
I know that it's always been that way.
I know that they do that, but I think I would still prefer that to just like a number print.
It looks fancier.
Yeah.
It's European.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
fancy.
It's our culture. It's us like showing that we're cultured.
Yeah, an American sort of way.
Exactly. It's a barbaric contest, and it's
Right.
So it's like a throwback to the Roman. What am I looking for?
Gladiators. Arena.
Yeah, the gladiator arena. What do they call the Coliseum?
Coliseum.
So I think that's kind of what it is, and I'd keep it.
I don't know. So, do you have any major coaching changes that you really want to talk about? Like, is this something that you're like, oh my god, that's amazing?
No, I thought it was blah this year.
Was there any other? Well,
So
I mean, Sean Payton.
That one surprised me where he ended up, and
me
also
too.
and what it seemed like was
I laughed about that because you were so certain he was going to Dallas.
He ended up not after Dallas made the run that they did. I thought it would be a little surprising if they had fired McCarthy.
Yeah.
But
So
like if they had lost to Tampa Bay, I thought it'd be different. If they lost to Tampa Bay, but anyway, it seemed like Sean Payton didn't shine as well during the interview process as like maybe some of the teams thought he was going to, and because I don't think that Denver that couldn't have been his first choice.
But they gave up. Was it 3? Or wait, no. What was it? It
A
was
first and a second,
Okay, it was a first, a
and
second.
they got a second back.
I thought there was one more pick involved.
I don't think so.
Okay. Just it felt like a lot for a coach, but
I don't even think it's the most that was given up for a coach.
really,
Yeah. And there were some other instances. I forgot Bill Parcells was traded for too.
was he really
Yeah, at one point.
for a first rounder?
I probably.
I don't. How did that? Where did he go? And how did
he
the
went?
team
He
do?
went to the Jets, and
We know how he did.
no, and he was only there, I think, for 3 years, and he immediately turned them around, and they made the playoffs in his second year, and they went to the championship game, and I thought they were going to win the championship game in '98 over the Broncos. I thought they were the better team, but Denver had home field advantage. I thought that was the key.
And so why did he leave
he
after only 3 years?
I think he thought he was done. And
Okay.
at that point, he was more of fix the culture guy, turn the ship around, clean out the garbage, get your locker room right, coach, because he did it in New England. And New England was a laughing stock before he got there and did
For
it.
sure.
And Belichick was the beneficiary of a lot of hard work that Bill Parcells did. And then in New York, he took a team that I think they picked number 1 overall like 4 times in the 10 years before he got there.
It's a good run.
And they
Building a team.
and they had gone through like 3 quarterbacks or something like that. And then they had taken Keyshawn Johnson really high. I can't remember how high he got picked, but it was really high. And him and Keyshawn Johnson were a fun pair. Like they got along really well. And then he did it in Dallas. Like he was the reason that Dallas turned it around. Dallas was after the Jimmy Johnson era, the Barry Switzer era, was garbage. And then it just got worse from there. It looked really bad. The Cowboys were on track to be in like the Browns and the Lions and yeah. And
America's team.
Yeah. And Parcells turned that thing around.
Yeah.
In 3 years.
And he's Hall of Famer, right?
Mm-hmm. Parcells?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So so anyway, Sean Payton to the Broncos. I don't know what to think about it. Like I don't know if I like it or not.
Like, did he see something in Russ that he's like, oh, he's just in the wrong system. I can make this work, or was it, look, I'm coming in. You've saddled me with Russ. It's going to suck for a year or two, and then I'm going to, make all the decisions. I can see both ways.
I think I could see it. I'm leaning on the Russ might actually not be good anymore side, and Russ having a bad year this year and them being out because they can do that. I think is what people have been talking about. And I think it was really had to have been the rest of the pieces. Like if you're saying like, why did Sean Payton pick this place? And that was the thing that just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me because the team has been really defensive, but that also could be a selling point. It's like, okay, the defense is really well built. This was the team that I could go to that had the best built defense. And that's, his weaker side. So if he just turns around the offense, he can win a championship faster. Maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it does seem to be kind of a confusing pickup there. Giving up the first round when it seems like all Denver's in a spot where they kind of need those picks right now. So,
do you think he'll be successful?
I think he'll be at least moderately successful.
And what do you think successful? What
playoff? I think
so he signed a 5-year contract.
Okay.
What is successful?
To me, successful is playoffs 3 of those 5 years. Don't you think? That's kind of like getting to the playoffs, giving yourself a chance at the dance. You know what I mean? Giving yourself a chance to win the tournament. That to me is number 1. If you're doing that on a consistent basis, giving yourself a chance, then you're in good shape.
So you're going to give up what is it? It was a total of 3 first-round draft picks and 3 second-round draft picks and a third-round draft pick or something like that to make the playoffs a couple times in 5 years. That sounds terrible. I'm sorry.
3 out of 5 years, giving yourself a good chance. Now, I think that's the floor. You know what I mean? I think that he could definitely do better. And when you're in that tournament 3 times, then who knows how deep you go.
I think that's fair for if that's the floor. If that's 3 out of 5 playoffs.
I wouldn't say that was successful,
that's-
though. I wouldn't say that was
that's
successful.
Not wildly successful, but successful enough where he's going to keep his job and everybody wants him to keep his job.
I don't know. I would kind of think that was a failure based on what you paid.
Just based on expectations. I mean,
I don't expect him to do anything with that team.
Yeah, you paid for a championship coach and a championship quarterback, and you're gonna be like, "No, we just want to be competitive."
Is he a championship
What?
coach? Does anybody consider him a championship coach or a coach that's won a championship?
I mean, I think
What-
to demand
what-
a first round draft pick, he's considered a championship coach.
Yeah.
I don't personally look at him as a championship coach.
I will say that
As a lazy fan.
yeah, and honestly, lazy fan of point of view is he lost Drew Brees and he quit. Like, why did he leave New Orleans? Did he ever give what was the reasoning behind that? Do we know?
He didn't have a
Drew
quarterback.
Brees retired.
I'm taking my toys and going home. I mean,
Yeah.
His future wasn't Tyreek Hill, I guess. So. Or not Tyreek Hill, the other Hill.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom
Taysom
Hill,
Hill, yeah.
T Hill.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tyreek Hill, I heard somebody, the Andy Reid threw a jab at him, something along the lines of, "Congrats on your yardage and payday" or something like that.
That's a weird situation because Tyreek Hill was like when he left, he came out publicly and said he felt like he was treated like garbage.
Yeah.
Like they just like tossed
Don't
him
they
aside.
all?
They all do. Their wide receivers are divas and stuff.
Yeah, exactly right. They all at some point
It's like
do that.
he's 28 years old now, right now, I think. So, what do you expect that team to do? You're 27 years old. They've gotten the first 6 years of your career. You know how this works.
I also heard
You're gonna get paid by
forget.
someone else.
I forgot who it was, but they were speaking about him because he went to Miami, right? And they were talking about how Miami's is not a championship team because there's just too much to do there.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was playing, whatever athlete this was, and I don't remember who it was or what podcast, but he would say that he would. It might not have even been a player. It might have been.
I heard
just,
someone, a former player, talk about this on a podcast. Just it was a similar. It was the same podcast that I was listening to. It was the Around the NFL podcast. Anyway,
But he was saying that like at 4 a.m. he
was
would see
Brian-
him in casinos. and
yes,
stuff.
it was Brian Baltimore
Yeah,
was
okay.
talking about that.
Yeah.
He's a former defensive lineman, and he thinks that it's just a different culture when you talk about like Miami and the fact that guys are out in nightclubs at 4 a.m. versus Kansas City, where nothing's open at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do, so you're probably studying or asleep.
Football players are as good as their options. Is that what you're saying? They have.
They're
They're
human
young,
beings.
dumb, and have lots of money. So
Yes.
yeah.
They're
Yeah,
human
and in
beings.
Miami, you can stay up 4 o'clock in the morning and have shitty practices the next day. I think that was basically what he was saying.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to have a functional practice if you were up till 4 a.m. the night before?
It does. I mean, doesn't it feel like Miami's turning things around a little bit down there, though? I mean, I agree that Tua may not be the final answer, but he, as long as he can stay on the field next year, I think he's going to have a good year. I think Miami's going to be
Miami made
playoff bound.
Miami
and
made a good defensive
dangerous.
hire. I believe they are the ones that ended up with Vic Fangio. He was the defensive coordinator for Denver.
Okay.
Bezzy wants to throw his pick out there for the Eagles. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Traitor. No, I'm just kidding.
Ride with the winning side.
I got an argument.
okay,
Maybe
so-
you can answer this, but I got an argument with somebody at work, and they were saying Patrick Mahomes won the first Super Bowl. Fuck, I even turned myself in. He won the first one that he went to.
Yeah.
He did. I thought he lost one. Was it
No,
a championship game
He lost
prior?
it was a championship game. He lost the AFC Championship game in 2018 to Tom Brady.
All right.
That was a classic.
Glad I'm not the only one.
I was waiting for somebody to call me on it.
Sorry, I just practiced not saying it. I didn't practice calling other people out on it.
Gotcha. We'll catch everyone for you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll catch ourselves.
Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate you guys.
But Wad Beasley, we were kind of talking about other things before we jumped into the game, just because we
We're
got a little
about to,
time. But yeah, I mean, if you're throwing it out there, I'm riding with you on those Eagles.
Fuck it, let's do it.
What, you're joining too? You're going Eagles?
No. Let's talk about the game. So
I thought we just convinced you.
What do we got going on with the game? Let me see here. Let me pull it up. I had it up.
Well, yeah, where's the line at now?
I think it's been pretty solid for the last week or so.
Just had it up. Let me see. Here we go. And it went away. I hate how DraftKings does that. So the line is +1.5 Kansas City. The over/under is 51. Money line. Actually, that was the spread. Money line's +105 for KC Chiefs and -125 for the Eagles.
So nearly a pick 'em, and just this was kind of a tough one for me to decide, especially at first with all the injuries and whatnot on Kansas City's side. It took me a while to really come around to decide like what I wanted to do this week, and the more I looked into it, just the old adage, defense wins championships, like just kept popping into my head. And you look at this Philly defense and how amazing they have looked. How good they've looked in their playoff games. Granted,
It's easy to look better.
They had
Yes.
the cakewalk, but
Yeah.
they also created the cakewalk. I mean, what the heck was San Francisco thinking? With a tight end out there trying to block Riddick on a drop back pass.
Well,
What the heck?
It was
You
George
get what
Kittle.
you get what you.
It was George Kittle.
Whatever. That was Riddick, dude. Like, I saw that play. And I'm like, what were they thinking?
I don't know. The guy's having a super season, but he was a pretty underwhelming free agent signing. I think he signed a 1-year deal. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's just like, it's not like it was Von Miller, and they tried.
Wasn't he? Didn't he have? I mean, I know Von
had a
got
gr-
hurt,
he had a
but
great-
wasn't he? Isn't he having a better season than Von?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just saying it wasn't like he was a signing like Von Miller.
Okay.
I'm saying he's having a great season, but to be like, it was Riddick, man. So like you're making him out to be Lawrence Taylor or something like that. He's having a great season.
he's one of the sack leaders this year.
So let's put that on there though.
Okay.
Let's make sure we say that. Hey, this guy's having an amazing year. You know that. How are you gonna like?
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Let's do that.
That's fair.
Not like this guy is like you're wearing his
Yeah.
jersey and he's like making $100 million.
No, but he's been one of the best defensive players on the edge this year.
Yep, agree.
So
He's gonna get paid.
yeah,
Yeah.
he really is. And so I mean, you got to give him his props, and you've got to block him with more than tight end. And so as
Kittle
much as,
is more than a tight end. You walked right into that one.
yeah, well,
Anyway, the play went poorly. It was unlucky, and conversely lucky for the Eagles. And you know what their playoff run felt like this year? Is it felt a lot like a lot of those Patriot runs, where they just kind of like they didn't even get tested until they got to the Super Bowl.
and that's fair there.
They
Because,
they happened to get the good draw.
True.
Because there was like
but
a
man, they've looked good
like
in their draws.
because they would get whatever team
Anybody else want some margarita ice?
whatever team beat Cincinnati in the wild card team would then go on to lose to New England the next week.
Just grab a glass. And put some ice in.
Yeah, if you don't mind grabbing me a glass over there.
What am I doing?
Grabbing one of those little glasses for me.
It's fine.
Yeah, perfect.
And then there's a bottle of margarita in there. Probably buried a little bit, but
All set, ready to go. Nice.
all set,
All
ready
right.
to go.
Oh, Kirkland even. All right, dude. I love Kirkland anything.
Ay, there's a wrapper on it.
Thank you so much. All right, sorry. Pleasant distractions. Where were we?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, cool. All right, where were we actually?
We got distracted by margaritas. I wanted some margaritas for this
I
day.
wasn't keeping track of that.
Huh?
Sorry, I thought somebody had a better memory
I
than I
wasn't
did.
keeping track of where we are. That's not my job. I don't do that.
Not mine either, evidently.
I'm not claiming it. I'm not claiming it.
Whose house is this?
Doesn't mean I'm tracking everything. I'm tracking the booze.
Where's our producer?
It's okay. We can just get back on track. We can figure it out.
Wada busy. What were we talking about? Wada busy.
Yeah. Listeners help.
Do you want
Perfect.
full
Thank
or
you. No, that's good.
That can
So
break an
Ray
ice.
had asked about Mahomes winning his first championship game, and I know we went on a tangent from there.
Us?
Yeah, I know. That sounds crazy, right? We would never do that. So
I think we're just kind of getting into our reasoning for our teams here. I think I was going after the Eagles there a little bit and just saying that defense.
you were talking about. Oh, that's where we were.
That's where we were. is
We
the
were
defense,
talking
and then
about
we went
Riddick.
off on Riddick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just the defense with those two cornerbacks, with the pass rush they have, I think they're going to be able to put a little pressure on Mahomes with 4. Mahomes is obviously fantastic against the blitz, and I think they're going to be able to get to and put pressure on him without blitzing. I think they've got that kind of a line. And like I said, the cornerbacks, the one place where they are, vulnerable is the middle of the field, and that is where Kelsey plays. But I think that a defense that good is going to have a plan for that.
Well, nobody's had one yet.
Okay, fair enough. But
Better, to me, I don't think that the Eagles are a particularly better defense than the Bills or the Bengals.
wow.
So what a busy feels that the Chiefs have better coach and tight end. Quarterbacks are even. I don't think the quarterbacks are even.
I don't think
Eagles are
quarterbacks
better
are
in every other position. That's my reasoning for the Eagles pick.
Yeah, and I would disagree with the quarterbacks. I do think Mahomes is a generational quarterback. The guy's awesome. He is the one reason why I'm nervous about putting all my money on the Eagles.
I would not do it.
But
wouldn't either.
but that's where I like, because there is so much talent on the Eagles side. That Eagles defense. Look at their offense. The 2 star wide receivers, a fantastic tight end. One of the best lines in football. Although they did lose one guy this week. What position is he a guard? The guy that got arrested.
I missed that. We should have talked about that.
I didn't even know about it.
Who was it? Who got arrested?
Talk about it.
One of the Eagles linemen, I believe it was one of the starters. I don't think it was one of the stars, but one of the starters. He got arrested for, I believe, a rape. Rather nasty one, but from back in like 2019 or 2020 or something like that.
Why? How is that not a headline right now?
I'd heard it.
I have all the things to hear about. Didn't hear about nothing coaching or nothing like that. Oh no, you know what? I typically feel like defenses may win championships, but there's something about that Super Bowl where experienced quarterbacks win. So that's where I'm at with it.
I hear that.
Hurts, he just like Cam Newton and just like what's the other one's name? The Bengals guy. First time, young talent.
He's a backup player.
First time.
He is a backup?
Yeah,
Oh, somebody told me the wrong. Then I apologize.
First time, young talent going against somebody who's seasoned and got experience.
Oh, you're talking Burrow from last year.
Yeah, and in those types of games, I just see the experience winning out. Hurts. He doesn't have the Cam Newton Burrow attitude though that I can tell, where these guys those two just had the attitude like, I'm going to come to 10 more of these things. So
Right.
whether I win this one or not doesn't matter. Like that was the vibe I got from those two. I'm not getting that vibe from Hurts. So that's the caveat to
the vibe you get from Hurts is really amazing. Like he seems like a really positive dude. You've heard nothing but absolute positive stuff from his locker room. I was not a Hurts believer 2 years ago when this all got started at all. I thought that was just a flop waiting to happen, but it looks like he is the real deal. He's got the talent, and he's got the attitude and the leadership to pull things off there in that locker room.
I think he can win the next one. I don't think he can win this one.
And obviously he can.
I'm hoping this is the only one he gets to. So
Right.
Well, of course you are.
They're more likely to make it to the next one than Cowboys until Jerry Jones dies.
But here's another thing: is that just gloss over that. But here's another thing, though: is that the defense for Kansas City is lackluster. You know what I mean? They're not horrible.
they've been playing. Not the last few weeks. They've been playing really well.
They have been playing better.
They shut down Joe Burrow. They shut him down twice. Joe Burrow was playing hotter than any quarterback in the league.
I just feel like KC has been playing down to the competition. Did Burrow did get 3 touchdowns in the last game?
No. No, sorry, I circled who has to drink what's there. So Ken has
gotcha.
4 bets to pay off, and I have 1. I did forget about that.
So some of the bets that were made the last time we were together was Philly by 10, and that was Brian's, and Ken gave him 2-1 odds, and Ken lost that one. Hurts was supposed to get 75 rushing yards.
That
Brian,
come on. That's the most that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
What?
That championship game. I can't even think of a game that compares to that. That is the most ridiculous thing ever.
Oh, you talking about for the refs?
No.
No, what are you talking about then?
Just the injuries.
No, the injury to the 49ers quarterback and the fact that they didn't attempt to pass in the second half. I don't think I've ever seen that.
You know, when San Francisco first picked up,
Or Josh Johnson.
no, the one before that, the quarterbacks. We're talking about the quarterbacks.
Purdy?
No, one before that, and before that guy too.
Garoppolo?
Garoppolo.
Trey Lance?
When you first picked up Garoppolo,
Yeah.
I was telling all the Niner fans at work, like, dude's injury prone. Like, he's gonna get hurt. He's injury prone. And then come to find out, he got injured, and then the next guy got injured, and then the next guy. So 49ers seem to pick these finesse guys that get hurt. You know, and
Everybody gets hurt.
huh?
It's the NFL. Everybody gets hurt in the NFL.
But at the professional athletic level, not getting hurt is part of your talent tree.
Yeah, okay. Well, not many people have it.
Huh?
That's true. Not many people have it, is what he's saying.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I mean,
So
but it is-
who have been like the avoid injury
Do you
talents?
realize that Brett Favre has the all-time consecutive start streak by like over 70 starts?
Yeah,
It's like
dude played when his dad died.
It's like 5. Yeah, it's like 5 seasons worth of starts
yeah,
that Brett Favre has on the next person who got close. That's
Yeah.
like Tom Brady.
he had
as-
2, right?
Tom Brady, as great as Tom Brady is, and he only had the one injury.
Thought he had 2. Maybe he had 1.
He had one,
Okay.
but he had a suspension
The suspension.
in
Yeah,
2016.
I didn't think I was
So-
thinking of the suspension, but maybe
He
it was.
he had three streaks of over 100 games,
What about Eli Manning?
but the biggest was 120 something. Eli Manning is second on the list.
How many injuries did he have?
No, third. I think he's third on the list.
How many injuries did he have?
Eli, none.
What about okay? So
I mean, no serious ones that ever. Eli,
that prevented him from playing.
his consecutive start streak stopped because they benched him for
Yeah.
Geno Smith.
I remember.
That sucker.
Hey, he's a Pro Bowl quarterback.
So Eli is in the 2 Super Bowl club. How many quarterbacks are in that club?
What do you mean? 2 plus?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think like 5, right?
I'd have to think about. No, there's more.
I was going to say it's more than that, but it's not a lot more than that, is it?
Let's see. So you start at the beginning. You have Bart Starr, Terry Bradshaw, Roger Staubach, Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, John Elway, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning,
Big Ben.
and Big Ben.
And then of those,
I think it's 10. I think that's it.
Sounds
of
about
those, how many had like multiple injuries?
like over.
Oh, I mean,
Over 1.
Oh yeah, well, Ben.
Roger Staubach missed time here and there because he was he ran the ball a lot. He'd get hit a lot. Troy Aikman had concussion problems.
And it prevented him from starting?
Yeah, he'd miss
Okay.
starts here and there. It was important to have a solid backup for Troy Aikman.
Ben missed a lot of time.
I don't really. Did he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Was that like a knee or ankle thing? I feel like he would be like a knee or ankle injury
He
guy.
had so many injuries. Like it.
Everywhere.
It's funny. Yeah, they showed like the medical body portrait of him and like circled all the
And what
injuries
year
and
and
surgeries and
stuff,
stuff. And yeah, it was a lot of circles in a lot of places. He withstood a lot of injuries, he missed a lot of time, especially in the last 5 to 6 years.
But yeah, Peyton didn't miss a lot of time. I don't think he missed a game up until 2011.
Is there a Hall of Famer that stands out to you that was injured all the time?
Hall of Famer that. Well, I mean, without knowing like everybody that's on the Hall of Fame
Right.
list,
That's why there should be one that stands out.
no, not really.
So we're getting into the theories part of the show.
Yeah,
right?
no,
But-
I guess so. Yeah, so yeah, if you want to be a Hall of Famer, don't get hurt.
Yep.
There you go.
Those are criteria.
There it is.
criterion.
Figured it out.
But anyway, yeah, San Francisco seems to pick a lot of people that like to get hurt.
Yeah. So anyway, we're talking about the run that Philly had to the Super Bowl. This digression that we're on right now, and it was a really really like lucky / easy run.
But they dominated everybody they were supposed to dominate. I mean, they looked good doing it.
They sure did.
I think they're going to continue to look good. I really do. I think they're the favorites for a reason. And honestly, I think if it wasn't for the popularity and reputation of the Chiefs and Mahomes, that I think that spread should probably be a little wider, honestly.
So what you're saying is you should be taking into account that the refs are on the side of the Chiefs.
You think so?
I haven't rewatched the championship game, the AFC championship game. And to be honest with you, I was kind of like, after watching the NFC championship game, I kind of lost my taste for football for the day.
Yeah, I can understand. Been there before, brother.
So,
But I really watched that game, and I watched it start to finish, and I didn't as just watching it in real time. I didn't feel like there was any big my god moments for the refs and stuff. I mean, there were small things, but there was nothing that I thought, oh my god, the refs were a major part of this game. I didn't even hear that narrative. I didn't think that narrative until the next day when I heard that, and I was just like, really? And I mean, you go back and you can always find something. Oh, they should have called this, but I don't know. I didn't see anything super egregious in that game.
I'm down for them
You
to.
just got to be able to deal with the ref.
I'm down for them to adding technology to the ball, putting a chip in the ball, chip in the pylons, so you know exactly
when it crosses.
Like things like that. I mean, they put them in the pads already, so you can get their top speeds and stuff like that. I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
Let's take some more
Have it hooked
out
up
of the
to-
refs and let them make those judgment calls.
Agreed.
So
Agreed. I totally agree with that.
we're there. We need to just do it. Yep.
All right. So I think we've talked about this game, a good amount.
Let's see. I think the Eagles are going to win with their running game. I think that the Eagles' game plan coming into this game is going to be to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands as much as possible. I think they're going to be doing, which is their specialty, is these
They're good at it,
long drives. You know what I mean? Really keeping the ball out of their hands. I think Miles Sanders is going to get a ton of work. And I just see them slowly, methodically going down the field over and over again and just taking all the time away from Mahomes. And so he gets stopped. He gets stopped once or twice, and he's down 10 points, and the first half is over.
He's a great comeback player, for one. Two,
He absolutely is.
two, and I feel this way. Maybe you guys don't. I feel that if Mahomes wins this game, it doesn't matter what happens the rest of his career. He skates into the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. He's got that on his mind. Two, if he doesn't win this game, he doesn't skate into the Hall of Fame. He's got to have a great career going forward to get in.
I would disagree with that a little bit. I think if tragedy struck and he died after the Super Bowl, some crazy I think he'd be in the Hall of Fame. I think he has had a Hall of Fame career already at this point. Now, I think what he's going for is more one of the greatest of all time. I think is he one of the best of all time quarterbacks, and that I agree. If he loses this game,
Do you think that's important to him?
Yeah.
I do.
Then
I
that's
do.
just
the amount
more
that-
for him to go in
Oh,
there. And be
I
like,
agree. Now, is Mahomes motivated? Absolutely. If the Chiefs win, why do they win? It's because of Mahomes. Honestly, if I really like the Chiefs, I wouldn't be betting on the Chiefs. I would be betting on Mahomes as MVP of the game. Get better odds and get a better payout. You know what I mean? Because if the Chiefs win, it's because of Mahomes. Period. I can't see any other way that would happen. Do you?
Well, I guess you could give it to Travis Kelce for getting 3 touchdowns.
Ooh, can we put that on the board?
Can we?
No.
No. And like I said, Kelsey is amazing. He is a generational talent, and he's going to get his. But I don't think he's going to have an amazing game. You know what I mean? Will he get 6 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown? Yeah, probably. It's just hard to stop him from doing that. But will he get 3 touchdowns and be the MVP? I don't think so. I
I think he's.
I
Gonna have
can't
10.
see
I think
defense that good letting that happen.
the thing I'm most confident in this game, I think, is Travis Kelce having 10 plus catches.
Okay.
Like I can't see him not having that happen.
I'm right there with you.
'Cause the Eagles that is where they're weak.
Hot take. I think Juju is going to have a great game.
I do too.
I think Juju is going to have a
do
really
too.
good game.
Would you
Juju, sorry,
would you consider him number 3?
What?
Juju,
the number 3,
Number 3 what?
catcher.
for the Kansas City.
Number 2.
Number 2. Who's number 3? Who would be the number 3 reception target guy?
They don't really
MVS or
have
Tony,
one,
but-
which is kind of the issue. There's like 5 guys you can almost name.
The rest of their guys are hurt.
Yeah. And
So
you got MVS,
Hardman's
you got
hurt,
Tony,
Tony
you
is
got
hurt.
Hardman, you've got Sky Moore, you've got.
I think,
McKinnon probably.
and maybe
would be my
this
next
is
pick.
just a fresh aspect of it, but it kind of feels like in these big games, the number 3 guy is very important.
I see where you're going with that. Yeah. So and that's for me. I think if the Chiefs win this game, Jerick McKinnon has to have a big game because he's the guy that
Now he hasn't had a good game the last couple, and I heard that there might be some ankle issues as to why he hasn't been getting the ball as much. Especially this last game, Pacheco ruled the game.
and Pacheco
And-
looks awesome.
Yes, and I think a lot of that was because of the ankle issue. So now, was the 2 weeks time enough to get that ankle issue under control? I don't know. I mean, he's not on the injury report, but that doesn't mean he's not hurting and not getting as many snaps as he should. So, just something to throw out there on McKinnon.
And what about the Eagles? Who's their number 3?
Who knows? So let's
Goddard.
see. You got probably Goddard.
Yep, Devontae
Yeah,
Smith.
yeah.
So
AJ
how would you
Brown,
put
Dallas
how would you
Goedert.
put those 2 against each other? How would you pit those 2 against each other?
What do you mean?
Who's the
like
stronger player?
who would have the best?
who's
third-
who's the
third
stronger
option?
player?
Oh
Who's
yeah,
the-
the Eagles by far.
Oh, the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have a
At-
stronger
yeah.
number 3.
At the skill positions, the Eagles have the advantage for sure.
Okay.
by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering about that number 3.
At
It always
wide-
seems like
wide
the 1 and
receiver
2s are
specifically.
just kind of like no.
At wide receiver specifically, the Eagles have a huge advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, and just one thing on your little theory there. The one problem with that is that on the Kansas City side, can you see anybody having a big game other than Kelsey or Juju, basically?
I would say no, but it keeps happening.
But with those 2 corners bracketing the outside, the only place to throw is the middle.
Did you see MVS's numbers from the game against the Bengals, the championship game?
Okay, that's the Bengals. Like these Philly corners are no joke, man.
I mean, honestly, you picked a losing team. You've used a losing team as an example.
What?
So
Well, no. I mean, okay, so you would have rather me picked a team that lost, So I'm picking a losing team's player against a winning team. That argument holds no water. No, what I'm saying is it's completely unlikely for MVS to have a 6 catch, over 100 yard, and a touchdown game, right? No one predicted that.
Right.
So I don't know where it's going to come from. I just know that Andy Reid has a plan.
okay,
There is gonna be a player.
and his plan is
we haven't even
going to-
got into the
There's-
coaching matchup.
There's gonna be a player who we see on Sunday have an amount of targets that is surprising for the Chiefs.
Okay, yeah, agreed. I
Don't know who it is.
Oh, I do.
You never know who it is.
I put him in my DFS lineup. It's right.
Okay. I actually
Did
didn't
you-
set one.
Oh, you guys didn't make one?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I mean, I
was
can make
actually
one
kind of
still,
excited
but
about mine.
No, we didn't.
I
Because
really
we
liked
ended
mine.
last week. We ended our run last week.
we can still do one though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like we don't. Have
Yeah,
the
I
time.
just put a showdown
I don't
lineup
want to.
together, but it's good.
I'll go against you.
You guys have your little showdown.
I mean, the most I could do is tie Ken. It's not like I can.
So
beat him.
let's pick the game first, though.
I thought we already did.
You did?
Well,
Me and you are KC, and him and Bezzy's on.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
so who you want?
There have been a lot of assumptions made
Yeah,
about who I think is going to win this championship game.
So you gotta? Do you have a Philly jersey on underneath?
No,
the
I
KC
don't.
Jersey? You're
No,
just-
no, I
It's gonna be a surprise reveal.
Like surprise. Hey, is it just a bunch of
I would
flexes?
so
Is
take
that-
your picture in the.
Is
the
that how
Philly,
yours looks?
Philly jersey.
I wouldn't let that happen.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So, no, I actually do think the Eagles are going to win this game because I think they just have too much gas for the Chiefs. It just wouldn't surprise me if the Chiefs won.
This is different
Wait,
here.
so after all that, you agree with me?
Isn't that fun?
Scores 1.5 fantasy points as a captain.
Yes.
Interesting.
Isn't it
Yeah.
fun? Because you didn't know you've been in suspense for like an hour and a half.
No,
No,
I
not suspense. No, not suspense.
No,
You've been
it-
in the dark. You've been in.
I get, yeah,
Yeah.
because I completely 99% assumed you were Casey.
You sure did. What a fool you are.
Yes, by your jersey. See, I at least had
This guy doesn't even play for the Chiefs. What are you talking about?
I wore Eagles green, man.
This guy doesn't even play for the Chiefs.
Who is it? I don't even
It's
know.
Tyreek Hill.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the back of the jersey.
I'm wearing a Tyreek Hill jersey.
I thought you
tonight.
might have been going old school.
He doesn't play for the Chiefs
Ooh,
anymore.
Minshew.
No, that I knew.
Yeah, play Minshew. That's the play right there. Here, I'll throw one together. Let's see
Who
what-
are these guys?
All right, if you guys are going to look at that real quick, what I'll throw out. What we're doing this week is the showdown mode, which is a little bit different on DraftKings. It's only one game that you're picking. So to differentiate things, what you have to do is you have to pick a captain. And whoever the captain is that you choose, they score 1.5 times the normal amount of points. So, if normally they'd score 10, now they score 15. So who you pick as your captain and whether you pick the captain that has the highest point total of the week is hugely important. And then after that, you have 5 flex positions that you need to fill out after that. So there is going to be a lot of overlap in lineups. And
you think so?
well, there's just kind of got to be because there's only so many players to choose from. So basically, what you're doing when you're picking your showdown lineup is you're picking a narrative in your head. This is how I think this game is going to go. I think the defense is going to dominate, or I think one side is going to dominate over the other. And you put that narrative in your head. This is how I think the game is going to go, and then you pick those players that would make that happen. If that narrative did happen, these are the players you would use. So. That's kind of the basic philosophy of Showdown. It's a very high variance game. I wouldn't recommend cash in this kind of thing. This is just kind of a tournament lineup, and you're hoping that you hit something big and get lucky. You're the one that picked the right narrative with the right guys, and that's what you're hoping for here. And this is the Super Bowl, so you get to have some fun with it. You guys mind if I start out?
Go ahead, start
Go
it.
for
Start
it.
it.
Okay. As we mentioned earlier, or as I mentioned earlier, I really think this is going to be an on-the-ground game for Philly. I think they're really going to try to grind the clock out. I really think that this is going to be a keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands game, and I think Miles Sanders is going to have one heck of a game. So Miles Sanders is my captain.
That's dangerous.
Oh, it's very dangerous. Like I say, this is tournament strategy. Against you guys, I probably should have changed it up a little bit, but
Yeah, he should have changed it up against us.
but this is the one I'm putting into the tournament. So I'm just
I'm just doing mine.
this
heads
is my
up,
lineup.
So
in the flex to go with Miles Sanders. There
How
on the
much was
Eagles side.
Sanders at-
Sanders as captain. Oh, that's another thing to mention.
the captain
price.
costs 1.5 times his normal price.
Yeah. So with the price adjustment there, Miles Sanders is 11.7.
Okay, that's a cheap captain.
Yes, cheap captain enables me to get both Mahomes and Hurts into the lineup, which I think is very important this week. A lot of times in showdowns, I want to get one quarterback and fade the other, but this game, this is a very the quarterback centric game. You know, these quarterbacks are going to be where the scoring's at. So to go with that on Hurts, that side, I'm going to go with AJ Brown. Obviously, the main target. KC is 28th against the outside wide receivers, and AJ Brown is one of the best in the business. And if you've seen some of the games where Hurts has just like dropped it over the shoulder into AJ Brown's arms, like, whoo, baby! If he can do a little bit of that, that's going to be fun. On the KC side, like I said, we have Mahomes, and I'm going to go with Juju Smith-Schuster. Like I say, I really think that the middle of the field is the only place that they can go with the ball for KC. I think there's going to be some kind of a game plan with that amazing defense to at least pen in Kelsey, if not keep him completely under control. So I'm going to fade him and go with Juju to have the better game. And then after all those name players, well, you got you got to drop some salary somewhere. So my cheap play, my oh my God, please do it for 1,200 is Noah Gray, tight end for Kansas City. He's been averaging about 2 receptions a game of late, and quite frankly, for 1,200, if he gets 2 receptions and 20 yards, not that bad. So that's my lineup.
All right, and I like how he brought up that you're trying to get a narrative going.
Yes.
You know how you think the game is going to play out. So my captain is going to be Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
It costs $15,900 to make him the captain.
Yep.
My first flex is AJ Brown, $9,200. I've got Jalen Hurts. I've got Devontae Smith, and then we're punting after that.
Sorry, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith. Who was before that?
AJ Brown.
Oh, okay. So you went. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Hurts and both receivers.
Hurts, both of his receivers.
Kelce.
Travis Kelce is the captain.
Okay.
And then we're punting after that.
Now you're punting 2 where I
Two spots.
punted. Okay, and I punted 1. All right.
$3,800. I've got Sky Moore.
Okay.
And my narrative is this is the game where Clyde Edwards-Helaire makes his return.
I hope you got him really cheap.
He's for $1,000. I saw him for $1,000. I was like, wow, he's gone. He's fallen so far. So,
But
if
he
there's-
is probably
if
gonna get
there's
5
truth
touches.
to McKinnon having some
No,
injury
you're
troubles
right,
right
you're
now,
right.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire has a chance to come in and touch the ball in the Super Bowl,
Yep.
and this is a big opportunity for him personally.
Yeah, I agree with all that. You're right. He is a bargain at 1,000. I honestly didn't look at him closely enough there because he didn't fit into my narrative. But still,
Yeah, no, right. Your narrative's important.
exactly.
My turn?
Your turn.
All right. So going with experience, I'm going to go ahead and make Mahomes my captain. I think he's going to have to spread the ball around a lot. So I went with him as my captain, and then I just kind of went with a bunch of that didn't. When I went to click on the
A
person,
bunch of
it, like,
oopses.
Butker, 13 points. Let me give you another 13 points for 4,000.
Oh my God, this Super Bowl is gonna be so bad. He's gonna have both kickers in his lineup, and we're gonna get a 16-12 Super Bowl.
Gainwell. I picked Gainwell. He had 22 points and 9 points the last 2 games. And then I went with my number 3 theories, right? So Goddard.
Dallas Goedert.
Let me look at his real quick. 15 or 16 and 7, right? So, and then Hurts, obviously got to throw the other quarterback in there. I just felt like that was a must. And then McKinnon, actually, because we were just talking about that.
McKinnon is your boy. You have to have McKinnon in there.
Why won't it show me his game log? There we go. And he looks like he's just due. But he's what we consider to
Brian
be
hates that one.
Well,
a
no,
possible number 3. So, right? And it was important for me to put both the possible number 3s of Goddard and McKinnon in that lineup. So,
I can say I like that, and like I say, McKinnon has had 2 weeks to rest, so it could be that McKinnon is just the man again. You know, we don't know. So it's to me, McKinnon is very high ceiling, low floor. You know,
Agreed.
He could, but then again, that's kind of
Yeah,
been his ever since he's been getting the ball. That's where he's been. He's either got nothing or been like, what the hell, 36 points.
How amazing would it be if like they could just pass the ball to Isaiah Pacheco?
Did any of us
For
pick him?
fantasy purposes? No. But he looks so good. Like when he has the ball in his hands, he's just
How
awesome.
much fun is he to watch run?
Yeah, exactly.
He really does look like the Roadrunner, man. His feet are just moving so quick. You're just like, what the? How
And
is
he's
he
powerful,
looks
too.
different than everybody else. The way he's running, the way he's moving his legs. It's
Very
funny.
excited to have him on my fantasy team in Dynasty.
Yeah, and you probably got him cheap, right?
I did.
Yeah.
It was a throw-in on another deal.
Exactly.
So that's where we are with all that stuff. Let's end with one more thing. Where in the world will Aaron Rodgers play football next year?
Do you think?
All right.
Do you think he's leaving Green Bay?
Well, that's what we're talking about.
Okay, but first I'm gonna pay off my bet, my one shot from last week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I have kind of a like a messed up tooth this week, and I have like homework I still have to do. So I'm gonna pay up later. I will pay up my shots.
We'll leave it on the board.
Thank
That's
you.
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Thank you.
All right, but
I'm there with you, dude. I guess I got to wake up functional tomorrow.
I just got a regular work day.
Yeah, he's fine.
You
just a
sleep.
normal day.
You can sleep while you're on the floor. Yeah, just give him his chips.
So I
Send
was on the Tom Brady to Las Vegas train. I really thought that was happening. It really did surprise me that he just up and retired, and so fast, just decided so fast that he was done. But maybe, you know what, also, just real quick, what would be super interesting is if, like, Tom Brady wants all the dominoes to fall so that he can make the best possible decision for himself, and if he retires, announces that he's retiring, everybody else makes all their decisions faster because they don't involve him, the possibility of him.
Okay, interesting theory.
Right? So,
And sorry, just to throw something in along those kind of lines, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to retire this year. There's 0%.
so either.
Because they're like, somebody brought this up to me. Well, Brady retired this year. So then when Hall of Fame class comes up, it's going to be Brady and Rodgers in the same, like, who's going to get all the billing? Who's going to get all, it's all going to be about Brady.
Yep.
Whereas if he waits 1 year, it's all going to be about
next
him.
year, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, there's no way he's going to retire this year.
Do you think he's first ballot, Rodgers?
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What puts the absolutely in that?
I want to hear this.
Multiple MVPs. Back-to-back MVPs? Somebody got back-to-back MVPs in the NFL, that's a Hall of Famer, period. I mean, and then you put everything else he's done on top of it.
There's nothing else he's done. Like winning a
Super Bowl. Super Bowl's good.
You need two. Remember?
You have to have two? Is that
To get in there automatically, you need two.
Yeah, but you said
Because people are still on the fence with Eli.
okay? Yeah, but because Eli wasn't nearly as good a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers.
He was when he needed to be.
Okay, and he was clutch.
He beat-
and that's why he probably deserves to be in the Hall
Like,
of Fame, is because he was so clutch.
Eli deserves to be in the Hall of Fame
and he never got injured.
for one play. For one play. Like that, to beat the 18-0 New England Patriots.
I'm biased, but I'll put it in. for that.
the way that he did, like that play's unforgettable. Like I was so mad. I was so mad.
You wanted to see history, right? You wanted to see
I
that
want,
undefeated team.
and I'm a Cowboys fan, so I don't want the Giants to win at all.
Okay.
And I was cheering already when they had him in the pocket and he was done. He got away from two guys. And somehow found a way to throw that ball.
Yeah.
And then the other one that sticks out in my mind is in the other championship game against the Patriots again. That just miracle shot that he threw down the sidelines. I think they were from his own end zone. to who did he? I don't even remember. It wasn't even one of his top 2 receivers. It wasn't Victor Cruz and it wasn't Hakeem Nicks. It was the third receiver, and it was the third receiver. That's right. There we go, baby. And hits him like 45 yards down the field. The defender was in perfect position, but it was just a perfect pass. Like he made plays like that, and he was just solid. Like there are 3 guys in NFL history who've started at quarterback who've started more than 200 games consecutively, and he's one of them.
Yeah, and that's huge.
And he won 2 Super Bowls, so to me he belongs there. And to me, I did it.
Finally, yes.
All right, where's my shot glass?
And I just got to throw out there, he also got benched, which is what ended.
I thought we put
his
3
streak.
out. That's the weird
And that
thing. I
matters
thought we
too.
put 3 out. I guess we didn't.
Yeah, we did, but that one had a little something on the top there. I wasn't gonna.
What about the 2 by the cigar up there on the window?
Oh yeah, those are good. Those little round ones right there. There you go.
Manningham.
Oh yes.
Mario Manningham, that's who it was.
What a busy gave us the details.
Yes, it was Mario Manningham. Yeah, that play was incredible.
Here you go, sir.
We didn't all come out of this one unscathed.
Cheers.
Your idea.
Salud.
Sorry, where were we?
We were talking about Aaron Rodgers.
And I got myself in overtime, you know?
we were talking we were talking about Aaron Rodgers and why he's first ballot.
Yeah.
And where he's going to play.
And what your logic was behind the first ballot.
And 2 MVPs in a Super Bowl, I think that does it.
what?
There. 2 MVPs and a big game.
And a super basing. Super base.
I told you I was going to be bad at this.
Such a good game. This is a fun game.
I
This was
told
a
you I
fun
was going
game.
to be bad.
So, I believe he is going to be a Hall of Famer. Like he has been.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt there. It's just, is he first ballot? Is he considered one of the best? Is the question.
I think there's going to be a lot of people arguing whether or not he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Rodgers?
When the time comes.
He might not get first ballot.
Oh, God, I would put a lot of money against
He might
that.
not. If he doesn't win another championship
I
game.
completely
Because how many
disagree there.
postseason games has he won other than the Super Bowl run?
The what run?
The super basing.
Now that we're done talking about the game, now we can't help but say it.
I think it's time to go off the air.
This game is the best.
I think I gave myself away on that one too.
That is hilarious. No, I got you. He has lost a lot of NFC Championship games, and I've enjoyed every one of them.
Fair enough. But that means he's gotten to a lot of NFC championships.
I thought he only got to 2.
Championship?
NFC championship game.
Yeah, or NFC
Yeah, I thought he only got to 2.
No.
No, he's been to several. I want to say like 6.
Yeah,
No.
he's been in.
He
Yeah.
lost to the Falcons, the Seahawks, the Niners twice.
The championship game?
Yes.
I'm looking it up.
The championship game.
Yeah, he's been in a lot, man. He's been around for a while. He's good.
Ooh.
Let's see. Aaron Rodgers has played 5 games in NFC championships in his career.
Wow. I was way off. Samsonite.
What was that?
Dumb and Dumber, Samsonite. I was way off.
It's funny because so many people quote Dumb and Dumber, and I'm like, I've seen it once.
Watch it one more time.
It was okay. You know what I mean? Like, that was just so not my
When did
movie.
you watch it?
Oh, God. I mean, when it came out, I guess, like that year, or at least when it came out on video.
How old were you when you watched it?
Watched what?
Dumb and Dumber.
Came out in the 90s, like early 90s, late 90s?
It was one of his early career hitters, so.
I think it was post Ace Ventura.
But
My point is,
so like 94?
sometimes those comedies land differently when you get older.
that is true.
So
And like Super Troopers, the first time I watched it, I was like, this movie is kind of lame.
it
And,
was.
and then the
I
second time
love
I
that
watched
movie,
it,
yeah.
I watched it with some buddies, and we started quoting lines at each other. And all of a sudden, that is the funniest movie ever. So,
Boys like Mexico.
meow.
All right, meow. Okay, he definitely said meow 10 times. I'm pretty sure I counted 11. Have you done that?
No.
Because he gets. You only said 9. You only said, and he goes back and he says meow, and to me that was number 11. Like, watch it again.
I definitely did not
You
count.
just see his gut rolling the entire time. You just see
Yeah.
his gut rolling. He's up there like this.
Count, yeah. Yeah. That's right. All right, meow.
Meow.
I do that.
I
to
look
people
like
at
I
work.
eat mice.
It's been too long since I've seen that.
Yeah, I need to watch that again.
Honestly, for me, that one and Shaun of the Dead are probably
Shaun of the Dead's a great movie.
two of my favorite comedies of all time.
Oh, hey, have you seen Slammin' Salmon?
No, I have not.
It's the same guys from Super Troopers.
Slammin' Salmon.
Slammin' Salmon, and it has Michael Clark Duncan in it, and Michael Clark Duncan plays a restaurant owner who was a former boxing champion
Okay.
who has a gambling problem. It's so good.
Let me get that margarita mix when you get a chance.
Oh, absolutely.
How are you on The Sopranos?
I am in the last season now. So yeah, they it's so interesting to me because the timing of the show, like that show is so groundbreaking in so many different ways.
Yes, it is.
I just passed the story arc where they discovered that Vito was gay.
That
And
dude got the brutal treatment, man.
He did. He really did. And I thought that I didn't think that Vito was a cool character, right? Mm-hmm. And they didn't do anything throughout like the first 4.5, 5 seasons to make you think that he was gay. Nothing. Not a thing. It wasn't like, so that was my only issue with that story arc. But and the reason I think that they did it was I think it was their way of like broaching the subject. And because the time that they did it, it was not as mainstream. You know, it was just starting to become a deal.
Yeah, I agree with that. That they felt it was something they wanted to address in the show, and this is how they were going to do it.
Yeah.
They didn't quite set it up in the previous episodes or seasons, but
Yeah.
they're going to do it anyway. Well, cool, whatever.
Show's so good.
Steve Buscemi, dude. He came and went.
He came and he went, and he caused so many problems so fast. Yeah.
Well, they had a couple mobsters that caused a lot of problems real fast. But the other guy that came back from jail.
Yeah, but okay. I thought Steve Buscemi's character was going to be like a character like Richie, and like how Ralphie were, how they were problem causers that eventually were going to be dealt with, but they stayed around for a long time.
Yeah.
He was too big of a name to stick around in that show.
Probably.
Yeah. But one of the things I kind of liked about that show is one, how they kind of dealt with rats right away, like just their way of dealing with what they consider rats. But just for example, the old man that came back from prison and he sent him back, right?
Feach.
And his realization of like, hey, when they're not laughing, there's a problem, right?
Right.
Like he came to the conclusion, like, this guy's not even willing to pretend to laugh at my lame jokes. Mm-hmm. He's got to go. Yeah. He's like, like when he makes those connections, like
Yeah,
This
when
is
Tony
funny
makes
to
his
me.
decisions.
Yeah, he
when,
was
when you get
his reflection.
when you
There
get
go.
insight into how Tony's mind works, what he sees. Yeah, that's really cool.
God,
Yeah,
I haven't seen The Sopranos is one of my all-time favorites, like all time, and I probably haven't watched it in 10 or 12 years. And listening to you guys talking about it, I'm just like, oh my God, I gotta watch this again. I've got them all on DVD. You know what I mean? Like, back when that was the thing, collecting things on DVD.
hey, well, I mean, are they extended versions?
I think so. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because that's not how they you don't get the extended version when
true.
you watch it on
Yeah,
streaming
that's true.
service. Yeah.
God, yeah. What an awesome show.
So, yeah. So really enjoying that. Yeah. So I don't think it's time to whack Aaron Rodgers.
And I need to rewatch The Wire as well.
Yeah.
throwing that out.
I still need to do
No,
that.
you don't think it's time to whack Aaron Rodgers? So where does he go? Where does he end up?
Well, now that Brady's retired, how does he not end up in Vegas?
That's the major prediction at this point.
Right.
Like that's where all the money is saying that he's going to go to Vegas. I definitely wouldn't put a surprise past him.
Where else might he go? Where else would
So
he?
if he doesn't
Could he
go to
go
Vegas,
to
where
Pittsburgh?
would he go? No, no,
You don't want him now?
no. Would I want him to try to go for a 1 or 2 year 2 year run? Yeah, sure, I probably would. But would the Steeler organization
Would you
do
trade
that?
Kenny Pickett to do it?
I know you're still there, Bezzy.
You're asking
Thank
me
you.
personally, or
Yeah, I'm asking you.
would I So would I? Basically,
I'm going to tell you right now.
Uh-huh.
You're going to get 2 years of Aaron Rodgers.
Okay,
2.
and I have to give up what?
Kenny Pickett.
Just Kenny Pickett? Done.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, no, that
Because he's got 15 years in his career, so I want to know how you
Right.
feel about him as a quarterback, and if you think that he's worth trading. Like you feel like
I
you could
think
replace
Kenny
him
Pickett-
with another quarterback 2 years down the line.
after we get a championship or two, yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that's what Rodgers would mean to our team. I mean, we would be instant Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, I agree.
So
You
to
would
do that-
definitely be a contender for that game that you just
What?
mentioned.
What about if Rodgers goes to Vegas and Carr goes? We already know Carr's gone. Where's he going? Miami Buccaneers
Miami, probably Tampa.
going to the Bucks.
Dang it! I knew I was going to suck at
Did
this.
Tampa sign an offensive coordinator?
I do not know.
Bezzy wants to know if we've seen We Run the City on HBO. Nope, I haven't seen it. Don't even know what it's about.
No, I haven't heard of that one. But if it's on HBO, I can guarantee you it's at least good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
So that's good.
HBO like puts out the best shows, even the ones that fail. I've been like, man, why did that show fail? You know what I mean? Like they're good.
Just didn't meet their standards of
Yeah.
good. That's all that was.
There was one show about it's like 10 years ago. I can't even remember what it's called, but it was about like this concert promoter, or no, he was a music producer that just like signing bands and stuff like that. It only got like half a season or something. It was really weird, but I was like, man, that was a good show. I wish it would have come back. So I don't know. I've always liked HBO. I'm old school. Go back to Dream On. I don't know if you guys remember that. Oh yeah, before your time. Like the very first HBO produced show. Like this was their show. It was a comedy. They produced it to where it should be on regular TV. Like they wanted to sell it to like regular TV, but they had lots of titties in it because it's HBO. So you know what I mean. They kind of like strategically placed the titties in the show, and
That's
so
the one thing about Sopranos. There's always a lot of fresh titties in the show.
Yes. And so me being a 12, 13, 14-year-old kid, I'm like, this is the best show ever. You know what I mean? And so from then on, I was just hooked on HBO. And like every show I've seen by HBO, even if it's not something that's really up my alley,
Set
and that
sells,
I'm gonna
everybody.
they always put good shows out. They always do.
All right.
I think that's it.
I think we did it.
All right, everybody. We'll see you guys when we see ya.
Fly,
Whatever
Eagles,
that is.
fly.
Woo! Wait,
sad.
did you end up, you did pick
Sad
Kansas City? You did pick Kansas City, right?
No,
not.
he
I did
picked the
not.
Eagles.
You did?
Yeah, he switched at the last minute and picked
Oh,
the Eagles.
shoot.
Yeah.
Switched the last minute. No one ever actually asked me who you're picking.
I did just
Says
now.
the guy in the Kansas City jersey.
Former Kansas City player's jersey.
Whatever.
Wow, I get to lone wolf. I get to lone wolf the super basing game. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Good night.